Now you get the fake engine noise.
Yeah.
And you feel it kick.
Shifts.
So you have these artificial kicks that they put in there, which is directly imitated off of the Elantra N. That's first gear. Welcome back to TTC Cars. I'm Brian.
And I'm Sam.
And we are going to talk about this freaking blue machine behind us. Got to get it out of the way. I have owned an N product before, the Veloster N. I've done a nice little burnout right here with it. Not a press car, my vehicle. Really good car. And what I want to get out, and I don't own anymore, I'm kind of sad about it, but the moral of the story is you need to understand throughout this review, when we say N, you need to understand that's the engineering firm in the world right now that prioritizes fun over everything else. I mean over track times, fuel economy, 0 to 60 times. It'll do all those things too, but the main focus is that you're having fun, and that's what we have right here. So what I'm excited about is that this is electric. And I've been saying for years, if you want a toaster to make some good toast, EVs are the best at making toast. They get you to work, they don't make a bunch of noises, they're quiet in how they get there, I understand. But for a gearhead, you want pops and crackles, you want some engagement, you want a little bit of wheel spin, you want character and charm, and that's exactly what they've worked on here. I'm just pretty excited that it exists. That being said, it's not perfect, so let's talk about all of it. First things first is the Monroney 2025 iONIQ 5N all-wheel drive. This one's in the Performance Blue Matte, which is really cool. Oh yeah, the only option is the paint and the carpeted floor mats. Comes out to $68,685, including freight and destination. That's a big number, but in the world of like Tesla Plaid S's and all that kind of crap, bit of a bargain. So that's the other thing N gives you. It makes it affordable for what you're doing. I do have some specs I want to read off. I hate to be a spec guy, but I'm not going to remember all this during the review, so let's just lay it out there mechanically. This is the EGMP chassis. It's good for 601 horsepower, 223 horsepower in the front motor, and 378 in the rear. Now, there's also an N-Grin shift boost button, which I'll cover in the middle of the review. That basically counts down from 10 seconds, and it's cooling the front motor to give it an additional 40 horsepower. So it takes to a peak of 641 when you need it. That's pretty awesome, but it's 601 all the time. It's pretty cool. Also, the charge system is 800 volts. That's really fast, and what that means is you can go to a DC level 3 charger and it'll charge very quickly. This chassis is shared with the GV70 and the regular iONIQ 5 and the EV6 GT from Kia, and we've driven those before and we like them all. So, but there's some changes here we'll talk about with the chassis in a little bit. Now let's get into the bits and bops, okay? So the front of this thing is quite menacing. I really do think the more I look at it, there's more going on than I realize. Like these slats right here angle out, it feels really broad. The N also has a wide body kit on it. So this is not the standard body. The chassis is shared, but the actual body panels come out wider. The lights are wider. There's a lot of bespoke panels that are on here. You do have a blocky theme design, which is gonna be an iONIQ thing, not an N thing. The regular iONIQ has that kind of style lighting, but this little kind of orange stripe here and there, that is an N treatment. You'll get that on all the colors. This one's the signature blue color they have, but you can get it in black and red and some other colors. That'll be there no matter what. Now let's talk wheels and tires, Sam. These are pretty interesting. This wheel is actually a two-piece design. And what I mean by that is this is a forged aluminum wheel that they've made look machined, which I'm kind of curious about that. Machine wheels to me are actually usually a cheaper looking wheel instead of like a powder-coated silver or something like that. But this is a very expensive, very light, very strong wheel. It's a 21-inch wheel. And then these guys right here, these are plastic. They are both in between the spokes for a design feature. Makes you wonder if you can pop those out and make it more of a traditional 5-spoke. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is kind of cool.
Pretty neat. Tire-wise, this is a Pirelli. It's a 275. It's a Pirelli P0, which is a very sticky tire. Here we go, 275, 35, 21-inch wheel. Look how little tread is on here. Now, granted, this car has 9,000 miles on it. These are not the freshest tires. They're not the stickiest. As we know, that being said, the P0 is a very good tire. It's a competitor with the Michelin Pilot Sports and Super Sports. Pretty cool. Brake-wise, it's not a two-piece hat, but look how vented it is. You see these opening gaps right here? That's all to let heat dissipate and get out. There's a 4-pot piston up front, which is like a monoblock design. The brakes are excellent, no complaints there. I do find it funny how Hyundai will use less pistons than other brands and get the same level of effectiveness. That's pretty cool. That's an engineering feat. Like the Veloster N that we own didn't even have a monoblock. It was a traditional Sonata brake and it worked great. Outbroke every pony car in the state, basically. Also, this has a different front suspension design than you get on the regular iONIQ 5. This has a twin lower control arm. So instead of having one stamped steel lower control arm, and it's a McPherson design top, so there's not a top control arm. It has twin independent aluminum, cast aluminum control arms on the bottom. It looks very German. The reasoning for that is because they want to make the delineation between regen braking and caliper braking imperceivable to the driver. And what they do is that those two lower ball joints instead of one are able to dissipate those energies differently and keep the steering wheel feedback out. That's the kind of stuff you get. That's expensive and it matters. That's how driving should be for driverless cars. Now, I like the design. Something about this reminds me of the Elantra when it first came out. Lots of rulers were used in making this car, but it works. It works really well. The door handles are cool. They go flat when it's locked. The car's actually on it now, so this front one's popped so you can get in. Kind of cool design. I like that a lot. Coming out to the back, same wheel and tires, so you can rotate these. That's pretty neat. So a lot of times people do staggered wheels, and then you're stuck with them where they're at. So I like that you can do that. On the rear, the blocky theme continues. And this is the same thing you would find on the regular iONIQ. This is a little bit more grayed out, and I don't know, I think it's a really cool design. You do get in badging, and all the lower valence is completely different. So you get this F1 style light in the middle, which is just super, super cool.
Does it flicker when you put the brakes on?
Well, let's find out, I don't know.
Let's see. No.
No.
No, it's just a reflector.
Oh, it's just a reflector.
Yeah.
Dang, I wish that thing was flickering. That'd be really cool if it
would be
was.
cool, yeah.
That's okay, it's still pretty neat. You get the inline treatment over here, inline, the actual end treatment. The downside, this is gloss black, which is gonna scuff and get dirty. I will say, I can see why someone might get a black one so that you don't have this two-tone looking paint. It'll look more monochromatic, but I'm about the blue. It's an end thing. If you don't get it, you don't like it, that's fine, there's other options. That being covered, let's see what it sounds like.
Hold on.
Hey, do you hear anything?
No.
No? No? Okay, let's try this. Try something else. Okay. So this thing is a bit of a faker, but it does give you some feedback on the inside, but it's silent outside. We'll cover those when you get to drive it. Let's check out the interior with Sam.
All right, Ryan, let's check out this rear hatch. How do you...
Oh, you're pulling a Craig. That's what
Oh,
you're
how
doing
do
here.
you-
Oh, where's the button? You can't find it.
There
It's
it
under
is.
the
All-
queue.
no,
It's under the
all-
queue.
yeah, you got. No,
There
it's
you
all
go.
the way down here, and you do get a reverse camera, all that
Okay.
goodness. But look how much space we have back here.
That's
I mean,
a
this
lot.
is pretty good for a hatch, right?
Yeah, that's huge.
Let's see.
Well, that's the thing too,
what-
Sam, is that
what do
this,
we-
they're playing the high hatch car a little bit, but really this is a mid-size SUV crossover deal. This is big.
I would call this a crossover, right?
It's
'Cause,
like Mach-E size,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mach-E
yeah.
size, right? You could probably put, what, 2 full-size suitcases back here?
Oh, more than that, you can stack them.
Yeah, you can stack them up here. I'm saying
yeah.
like the lateral width of this, you could probably stack.
pretty big, yeah.
It's pretty big. You get spare
probably put, like,
tires.
4 kids back here.
Anything back here? Nope, just
So tire mobility kit.
and then we get a power charger back here. You get some more space up here.
So that's so hold on, that's a 110 charger, traditional wall outlet, which will take about 7 years to charge the car. Our level 2 was charging it from 40% to 70 in about 4.5, 5 hours.
Yeah,
That's
that's really
not
good.
bad.
That's something you can
really
just plug in and
Yeah,
forget about it, right?
yeah.
So let's see, this actually does come out if you
Okay.
want us a little bit more space.
Okay.
You can see we get some indents there, some extra stuff. What's this back piece? Can we take
I
this
think,
out?
I think that's just
No,
there.
it's just
but-
there.
Okay.
You do
Interesting.
get some little hooks to try and tie some stuff down if you wanted to. You get some hooks back here.
Okay.
And then also,
What is this?
I was going to see
What is that?
that's for your.
Oh, so that's a service the charge outlet. Okay, for the charge door. Okay, cool. Interesting.
Then you get a little power outlet, 12 volt, 180 watt. That'll charge your phone.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
good enough.
Yeah, good enough.
And yeah, let's see.
On to the
That's
second.
about it. Yeah, let's go to the second row. All right, Brian, let's see what we got here. We got a nice padded. Oh, this actually isn't padded. It's actually pretty hard on the top.
It's
yeah.
padded. It's just barely.
And then your whole door handle is the whole like interior piece of this door, which is, I think is pretty cool. You can kind of grab it wherever if you wanted to. Some nice blue stitching with a little checkered design on the interior of the door. You get a cup holder in the side, and then you also get a little spot to put some goodies, your phones maybe, or iPads, whatever you got back here.
Yeah.
All right, come around to the side. Whenever you're getting into the car, you get some more checkered design. You get an in logo that lets you know you're getting into an in. And then when we get into the back here, all right, pretty comfy seats, I would think. I have a pretty good amount of space. I think you would maybe have some space
We'll
too.
find out here in a
Yeah, we'll
second.
see. And then you get your rear AC vents right here on the side, which I think is pretty
didn't
nice
notice
because
that.
then you don't get it in the top
But then look, you have so much less clutter down
Yeah.
here. You got all the knee room down here, and you've got what, charging ports?
yeah,
I
you
guess?
get 2 charging ports, and then these seats I think actually do recline. Yeah. they
Okay.
recline, so I can go
see if they-
pretty
they-
far back.
Oh, and they fold flat.
Yeah, almost
That's nice.
flat.
Okay.
And they lock.
Oh,
they
that is
lock,
nice.
so they stay
Okay.
down.
Flip it back
so
up
if you're
again.
doing any,
Okay. I'm gonna see if I do fit. Let's find out,
see.
Sam. I'm fine, dude. This is
Yeah.
great. This is like full pass because there's not a giant sunroof up here.
Exactly.
Because we're in the N model, there's not a bunch of silly stuff. And
Get a cup
armrests,
holder.
dual cup holders, but Sam, more importantly, look at these seats. The front ones. Let's go check those out.
Yep. All right, Brian, we saw the back seats. Let's look at the front seats. Coming around the front, we do get the same padding on the top. We get a nice blue stitch that goes all the way across. And then that pattern from the back continues. You get your checkered, you get your same cup holder design in the door, and then another little slot. And then coming into the seats,
Well, we can't tell Sam in the daylight right now.
Yeah, but these
ends illuminates.
They illuminate. Yeah, look at this.
I don't know if you see it. Oh, there you go. You see it lit right now.
Let me get back out.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah, and then you get a nice bolstered seat because this is an in model. You do get some more racing features, right? Or
Track focus
motorsport features, I would say. And then let's see, we get in here. It's actually a really comfy seat. Me and Brian, we've done road trips in seats before, and they are pretty comfy, I would say.
Yeah, the Veloster M we did a big road trip in about a year ago, and it was surprisingly comfortable, and these are no different. These are very supportive.
They're actually probably better, I would say, than the
when we're different sizes, seats. We're both comfy in it.
Yeah, exactly. And then coming around to the cockpit, let's see what we get. Okay.
Oh, is the engine on?
Nice. Yeah, it's on.
Oh, the motors are on. Okay.
The car is on.
Car is on. Okay.
All right. And then coming around over here, we get all of our we get our traction control. This is our instrument cluster illuminations. We can open the back door or the back hatch from here. Open the fuel or the charging door.
Yeah, not fuel door.
Our parking brake is right here.
Oh, wait, where's the? Why can't you just pull?
There's no handbrake. There's no. And then if you're wondering, how do we shift it? Is it in the screen? No, it's right. Nope. It's
there. It is
right there. So you can kind of see it through the steering wheel, and
you can see here a little dongle on it. So that's the same iONIQ feature there, which actually works pretty well. I'm happy with that. Show them the gauges. What are we seeing up here?
Let's see. So if we wanted to, we get our motor temps, our front and rear. We have our battery temp, and then we do get a speedometer with the
regen. Oh, you have speed in the middle, but you also have this is your regen with the paddles. Pull the other paddle.
Let's see.
This increases your brake regen right here.
Gotcha. There we go. Yeah. So you see how we're max on our regen, and then we have our trip meter over here, and then if you guys can see how much range we have right here. So this is at 95% charging. We have 194 miles of range.
Yeah.
So
it's a usable 200.
Yeah, it's a usable 200, and then if you put it in your eco mode, you get another 10 miles out of it, but that's not that much.
We did a little homework before we filmed this, and we're hearing from owners that they really grainy this thing. 250, they can get it, they can squeeze it out. Yeah. But realistically, that's not the point of an N. So you're probably gonna get closer to 200.
Yeah. And then coming around the steering wheel, we have all of our, this is gonna be our cruise control stuff. And then right here, you can see this NGB button. This is the fun button.
That's the N-Grin boost is what that is. So show them real quick.
Let's see, so if we touch it.
There we go.
Okay.
All right, so it says ready because it's already done it. So we now have 641 horsepower. But if you turn this off, now we have 601 horsepower.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. If the batteries aren't warmed up, like we drove here, it's warm right now, it would take a minute to warm the battery and cool the motors. Has a kind of a crazy charge cooling system on this thing, but that's what that feature does and gives you that extra bit.
Sweet, sweet. And then coming around to the screens, we have all of our maps and then
all the normal Hyundai stuff, right?
Yeah, all the normal Hyundai stuff.
Yeah.
And then you can actually get in here and then you can play with your modes and everything if you wanted to. Yeah, you get our motor, steering, our suspension.
This is cool here. This actually will give you pops and crackles on the interior while you're shifting.
We were trying to figure that out earlier.
Yeah.
Nice.
So remember our Veloster M would go pop, 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 pop everywhere? Yeah. That's what that is.
Exactly.
This is stability off. So this is your custom settings. You can go to custom 1 or custom 2 and configure it how you want.
And then you can actually change it from this button right here.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so you can go custom or just your regular in mode.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, in and then custom.
You also have in launch control over here. And then, which actually works very well. We'll show you on the 060, we'll use that. And then over here you have your torque distribution, which you've got to meet all these conditions, which seems almost impossible to do all the time. But then you're able to make it rear-wheel drive. You're able to make it 80% front-wheel drive, 100% front-wheel drive, or 100% rear, which is kind of neat. We've been leaving it in 50-50, but that's what's there. You also have in-pedal, in-race, and then drift optimizer and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of cool that you're able to do a drift mode and everything else, but that's not what we're doing here today.
And I think too, can we talk about this circuit feature? I think it's pretty cool. So there are a lot of pre-made or preloaded circuits that are throughout the United States, and I think there's one in Canada. Yeah, there's one in Canada. So if you're on track, you can actually get some data.
So you can actually run your lap times if you're running that track. You can go to Barber, you can go to Homestead down in Miami, the Corvette Museum, Sebring. Pretty neat. Utah Motorsports Campus, that's a great track, by the way. Pretty cool. So I think it's pretty neat. There's different settings in here. You can tell what surface you're on. Like if you're on a track, it'll be less aggressive with the traction control, so it makes you a better grip. You can tell medium or low if it's slippery, so it can be more aggressive. Pretty neat. I'm a big fan of it. And you can pick your engine noises. So let's show them the supersonic. Hit that one. right, there you go. Okay, so let's show them evolution. Sounds very video gamey. And then ignition seems the most organic to me. So, anyways, kind of cool. So the whole point of this, Sam, is they're trying to make this engaging and fun. So let's go put it on the road and see if it is.
Let's do it.
I think it's about time we get the exhaust on, launch controls activated. You ready to try this thing out?
Let's do it.
Oh, baby, let's go. A little bit of wheel spin on the front. 60 miles an hour, actually 70.
All right.
What you got?
3.34.
3.34.
Yeah,
okay,
really
that's with
good.
you in the car. With you out of the car, 3.25 was the best I saw.
Wow.
Not bad. And
Yeah.
I'll be totally candid. There's so much going on in terms of drive modes in here. You almost need an IT manager or a teenager to help you figure it out.
Yeah.
We have gotten the launch. That's the launch modes. I'm turning that off now because I think what's more fun is to put it into manual mode. And let's change it to, here we go. Now you get the fake engine noise.
Yeah.
And you feel it kick.
Feel the shifts.
So you have these artificial kicks that they put in there, which is directly imitated off of the Elantra N. That's first gear. Which is awesome. And you felt it hit the artificial red line. So it gives you the same feedback. If you're used to a dual clutch Golf GTI or Elantra N or the AMG Mercedes, you're gonna feel organic here too, which is pretty cool. I think it's pretty neat.
Yeah, and I think this is good because like you said, when you deal with toasters and everything else that's not giving you any feedback, this one is like you know what you're doing, you know what gear you're in, you know when you're about to hit a red line. It's giving you the feedback that you need.
Right. And okay, good point. So this is the first EV. Let's talk about that a little bit. There's 2 EVs on the market right now because EVs have had this huge run of popularity, and now they've kind of tapered off. Not that they've fallen; it's just the growth rate has slowed.
Yeah.
I think people that are really passionate about EVs have one now.
Exactly.
So the boom isn't what it used to be. And this is the thing, all the EVs are fast. They at least have the sensation of speed. If you're not a car person, you'll feel like a Leaf is fast because there's no RPM to gain. It's just there, right?
Yeah.
Instant rolling. This and the Dodge Charger are the first 2 cars to try and make them fun for car people. So this one is following the N mantra. Is it fun to drive? Is it good on track? This is clearly track capable. In fact, we're not finding the limits on this road. It's just we have to have a track for that.
And I think too, like the N2 doing a really good job of making cars fun.
Yeah.
Right. Like this car is not here to make like break numbers or set records. No. It's here to so whoever's in that driver's seat is having a good time, and they know they're having a good time. Yeah.
Right here.
Smiles per gallon.
Smiles per gallon. Like the whole Elantra N, Veloster N mantra. They are so much fun, and the Type R is faster on a track.
Yeah.
Hyundai can make them faster, but they'd be less fun on the street. They're less docile. The Type R Civic is less fun on the road than an Elantra N is. That's just a fact. A Tesla Plaid is faster than this in a straight line, but this handles, and this is engaging, and this has gears to give you engagement.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. So I have high hopes for the EV movement, because look, if we are gonna go down the toaster route, a Model 3 base, I get it. It's quick, it makes great toast, plain white bread, got you covered, right? But if you want it on sourdough and you want avocado and hot sauce on there, N's got you covered.
Yeah,
That's the biggest thing. They're gonna make it more entertaining and more engaging for a car guy. And I'll put it out there, I'm not sold on EVs for my personal use, but just because of use case and enjoyment, and I like to hear exhaust noise. I wouldn't mind seeing something coming out of that for this package down the road.
Yeah.
Dodge is working hard on that with the Charger. We haven't driven that yet, but we'll report on that soon. I think we're getting onto something though. I think there's hope for the future for car guys.
I think this is definitely a step in the right direction, especially with this being the only one like this. This is like breaking the market. It's the only one in this space, right? And so I think they're doing a really good job, and I'm excited to see where the future holds for the rest of these cars like this. Yeah.
Me too. If you guys have any questions, let us know below. Huge props to Hyundai for chasing something like this down. This is a huge engineering effort.
Yeah.
They've done a good job. Thanks for sending it out to us, and we'll see you guys in the next one.